Germany and China have just formed a groundbreaking partnership in artificial intelligence that has caught U.S. tech giants completely unprepared. This unexpected alliance between Europe's largest economy and the Asian superpower is reshaping the global AI landscape overnight. In this video, we will reveal how this partnership has already caused market instability, with tech stocks experiencing significant downturns, including Nvidia's shares. We will analyze what this means for U.S. technological dominance and explore the strategic responses being considered by Washington as it faces this new competitive reality. While much of the world was preoccupied with tensions in Ukraine and the Middle East, a significant partnership was quietly taking shape between Berlin and Beijing. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's recent visit to China revealed a strategic pivot that surprised many international observers. The visit, characterized officially as a transformation dialogue, brought together not just political representatives, but a 12-member delegation of German corporate leaders accompanied by 3 ministers, signaling this was no ordinary diplomatic exchange. The timing of this partnership is particularly noteworthy. Germany, facing economic headwinds at home and pressure to reduce dependencies abroad, has chosen to strengthen its technological ties with China precisely when many Western allies are advocating for decoupling. This reflects a pragmatic calculation by Berlin that maintaining technological competitiveness requires engagement with Beijing, despite the geopolitical complications this creates. What makes this shift remarkable is Germany's traditional alignment with American technological interests. For decades, Germany has been a reliable partner in Western technological ecosystems. However, the €200 billion investment commitment from the European Union toward artificial intelligence development signals a departure from this historical pattern. This massive financial pledge demonstrates that Europe is no longer content to follow America's lead in defining the future of critical technologies. The meetings between Scholz and Chinese leadership, including President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang, produced substantial agreements that went largely unnoticed by the international press. These discussions occurred against the backdrop of China, highlighting its decade-long strategic partnership with Germany, framing their trade relationship as a stabilizing force in an increasingly volatile global landscape. Germany's approach reflects a delicate balancing act. On one hand, the German government faces internal division. The coalition of Social Democrats, Greens, and Free Democrats harbors significantly different views on China engagement. This fractious policy environment has complicated Berlin's ability to present a unified strategy. Chancellor Scholz appears to be following former Chancellor Merkel's engagement approach, while Green Party members advocate for greater caution. The partnership consists of 3 interconnected components. First, joint research initiatives that leverage both nations' academic and industrial capabilities. Second, market access agreements that address German concerns about fair competition while opening doors for cooperation. Third, technology transfer protocols that establish frameworks for sharing innovations while protecting intellectual property rights. The automotive sector illustrates this evolving relationship perfectly. German automakers, who historically dominated the Chinese market with nearly 30% of German exports to China coming from this industry, now find themselves struggling to compete with Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers. Chinese domestic brands have captured over 50% of the EV market in China, forcing German companies to adapt or risk obsolescence. This shifting dynamic has created a scenario where technological cooperation becomes not just desirable, but necessary for German industrial survival. China's AI sector has grown at an extraordinary pace, complementing Germany's strengths in industrial automation and precision engineering. The Joint Declaration on Car Data Sharing represents just the first visible outcome of this deeper technological alignment. What remains largely unspoken is how this partnership creates complementary advantages. German engineering precision combined with Chinese computational scale and data resources could potentially create an AI development ecosystem rivaling that of Silicon Valley. What makes this collaboration particularly significant is the absence of critical voices in the public discourse. Issues like human rights concerns, research security, and potential conflicts over Taiwan were conspicuously missing from the official agenda. Both sides appear committed to maintaining a positive narrative around their partnership, strategically managing potential points of conflict while emphasizing areas of mutual benefit. The implications of this partnership extend far beyond bilateral relations. As China becomes increasingly adept at steering conversations toward favorable topics and away from contentious issues, This technological alignment creates a potential counterweight to American dominance in AI development. This strategic silence on difficult issues may help maintain short-term cooperation, but risks creating unaddressed tensions that could eventually complicate the relationship. The market's verdict on the Germany-China AI partnership arrived with the swift brutality that only Wall Street can deliver. Within hours of the announcement, a seismic shock rippled through U.S. technology stocks as investors calculated the implications of this unexpected alliance. The partnership wasn't merely diplomatic posturing. Financial markets immediately recognized it as a fundamental threat to America's technological supremacy in ways few had anticipated. Nvidia, the titan of AI chip manufacturing, became the most visible casualty of this new competitive reality. The company watched its shares plummet by 6.2% in pre-market trading, a staggering loss of market capitalization in a matter of hours. This wasn't an isolated incident affecting a single company. The broader semiconductor sector, represented by the VanEck Semiconductor ETF, collapsed by nearly 4%, signaling widespread concern about American technological dominance in the crucial AI sector. The market reaction wasn't merely speculative panic. It reflected concrete U.S. government actions that acknowledged the changing landscape. Washington, seemingly caught off guard by the partnership announcement, quickly imposed restrictive measures on Nvidia's H20 chips, products specifically designed for the Chinese market that would have bypassed previous export controls. These restrictions weren't symbolic. They carried substantial financial consequences, potentially resulting in a $5.5 billion charge against Nvidia's first quarter results to cover inventory and purchase commitment liabilities. What makes this market response particularly notable is the timing. It coincided with extraordinary developments in China's domestic AI capabilities. The emergence of DeepSeek represents what many industry observers are calling AI's Sputnik moment. This Chinese chatbot has demonstrated capabilities rivaling those of Western AI systems, but was developed for the astonishingly low sum of $5.6 million, a mere fraction of the billions American companies have invested in similar technologies. DeepSeek's rapid adoption is equally remarkable. The application quickly topped Apple's download charts, performing sophisticated tasks similar to those of Western alternatives, writing lyrics, creating recipes, and generating personal development plans. This cost efficiency combined with competitive performance has rattled Western tech executives who now face the prospect of being caught in what one industry analyst described as a technological pincer movement between Europe and Asia. The U.S. government's reactive export restrictions on Nvidia's chips reveal the strategic importance of this technology. These measures aim to prevent the use of advanced American AI chips in Chinese supercomputers, reflecting Washington's growing concern about maintaining technological superiority. The restrictions are part of a calculated effort to slow China's AI advancement, but they may have come too late given the Germany-China partnership and China's indigenous innovations. Industry analysts are now predicting a significant redistribution of market share in global AI over the next 24 months. The previously US-dominated AI development ecosystem faces its first serious challenge from a viable alternative power center that combines German engineering precision with Chinese computational scale and data advantages. This new alliance threatens to establish different technical standards, development priorities, and potentially even ethical frameworks for AI implementation globally. The Germany-China partnership is also revealing a larger strategic shift in China's approach to AI development. At the Paris AI Action Summit, Chinese Vice Premier Zhang Guoqing reinforced China's determination to shape global AI standards rather than merely follow those established by American tech companies. With Germany as a partner, China gains credibility and influence in international AI governance discussions, potentially diminishing American leadership in this critical domain. American tech companies are now racing to reassess their global AI strategies in response to this rapidly changing competitive landscape. The concerns extend beyond immediate market fluctuations to fundamental questions about long-term technological leadership. The partnership creates the conditions for an alternative AI development pathway that doesn't depend on American platforms, chips, or research infrastructure, a prospect that explains the market's dramatic reaction. Behind closed doors in Washington, the Germany-China partnership has triggered what one senior official described as the most comprehensive strategic recalibration since the space race. The United States' conspicuous absence from an international AI declaration signed by over 60 nations, including China, reveals just how dramatically the geopolitical chessboard has been rearranged overnight. This exclusion stands as a visible symbol of America's fractured approach to artificial intelligence policy at precisely the moment when unified action has become imperative. Across Washington, the response resembles a scattered emergency rather than coordinated strategy. The Commerce Department scrambles to rewrite export controls while the State Department hastily convenes diplomatic channels. Meanwhile, the National Security Council debates the implications behind closed doors, and the Office of Science and Technology Policy attempts to coordinate research priorities. Each agency operates with different priorities and timelines, creating what former White House technology advisor Michael Kratsios calls a patchwork response to a tapestry threat. The Department of Defense appears particularly concerned. The Defense Innovation Board recently released an urgent set of recommendations calling for the Pentagon to dramatically accelerate AI integration across all domains, and warning that technological parity with near-peer competitors can no longer be assumed. The report specifically recommends increasing the military's AI procurement budget by 300% over the next 3 fiscal years and streamlining the acquisition process for AI technologies. Vice President J.D. Vance's recent statements at the Stanford AI Forum reflect the administration's divergent approach. America's competitive advantage has always been our innovation ecosystem. Excessive regulation threatens to stifle exactly what we need most right now, Vance told attendees. The stark philosophical divide between American regulatory minimalism and European structured oversight creates what Stanford's AI Index report characterizes as an unprecedented regulatory divergence in a critical technology domain. Perhaps most concerning for American strategists is the talent migration. New data from the National Science Foundation reveals a 24% decline in international AI researchers choosing American institutions over the past 2 years, with corresponding increases in placements at Chinese and European research centers. In response, a bipartisan group of senators has introduced the Strategic High-Skilled Immigration Act, which would create expedited pathways for AI researchers and exempt advanced STEM degree holders from visa caps. The Pentagon's concerns extend beyond pure research capabilities. General Charles Q. Brown, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, recently testified before the Senate Armed Services Committee that AI capabilities developed under the Germany-China framework could potentially reach battlefield applications faster than our current acquisition timeline permits. The military implications have catalyzed rare bipartisan consensus, with increasing calls for the administration to designate artificial intelligence as a matter of national security. Silicon Valley has not remained passive. A consortium of 7 major technology companies has formed the American AI Alliance, committing $15 billion in combined resources toward fundamental research and shared infrastructure. The initiative bears striking similarities to earlier public-private partnerships like Sematech, which helped preserve American semiconductor leadership in the 1980s. However, questions remain about whether corporate collaboration can substitute for cohesive national policy. Hope you like this video. If you want to know about how USA slaps tariffs of automobile industry, click here to know more about it.